Hey guys, William here, aka Big Bastard. Those of you who have subscribed and liked, thank you very much. Those of you who haven't, I hope you will. I hope that you'll enjoy the content I'm putting out and find it insightful, or one or the other. Anyways, today I am going to talk about the Captain America Civil War movie coming out from Marvel and why I have some real reservations about it because that was one of my favorite comic arcs. So just so you know, spoiler ridden. Okay, you've been warned. It's in the title. It's in the video. So a lot of people are wondering how Marvel's going to handle this because the context of the properties between the movie property and the comic property is completely different. The dynamics are totally shifted. Here's some of the problems we have in the Marvel movie universe that we're facing that made the Civil War arc so powerful. Number one, there's no Spider Man. Now, you might be wondering why this is an issue if you know nothing about the Civil War arc, but Spider Man was very pivotal in that arc, and one of the most momentous moments in comic history came when he publicly revealed his identity in front of the whole world in support of the Superhuman Registration Act. And that was a groundbreaking moment in comics history because, unlike a lot of other comics heroes, he didn't go around just, oh, hey, I'm Peter Parker, by the way. He kept his identity very closely guarded. And it was at Tony Stark's behest that he unmasked because Tony Stark said, I want you to be the face of the Civil War movement, or I'm sorry, the Pro Registration Act, and you cannot do this if you continue to hide behind this mask. And so, now, for those of you who don't know, Sony has the rights to Spider Man. Now, Marvel's cinematic universe, is completely absent of Spider Man because of Sony having the rights. It's been rumored, though, that Sony will grant the rights to Marvel to use Spider Man in their cinematic endeavor for the Civil War. Is really fucking pointless because, in addition to the whole unmasking issue, which wouldn't mean shit in the movie Civil War, there's the fact that Peter Parker had so much history with so many of the other superheroes that the Civil War was literally tied to his viewpoint and tied to his decision to go from pro registration to anti registration. And all of that's going to be missing in this movie. The other problems we're having is, forget Spider Man for now because, I mean, like I said, he's going to be a footnote at best. The other problems we're having is the limited roster in the Marvel Universe, which is really going to cause some problems because you're going to register what, all 8 superheroes you have here? I mean, you can't even count Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, because they're not from Earth. They're not Earth-bound heroes. Try enforcing registration on international citizens. See how that goes. So we have that working against it. It doesn't help that a lot of the characters that are pivotal to the Civil War plot don't get their own movies until after the Civil War movie. And we're talking Doctor Strange, we're talking Ms. Marvel, we're talking Black Panther, we're talking Submariner, who may not have been the most pivotal in Civil War, but he was pivotal in kind of starting it if you go back to the whole Illuminati arc, which pretty much could be blamed for everything that happened after this, including the events of the Civil War, the Skrull invasion of Earth, and the Dark Reign arc. Because 5 really brilliant guys fucked up big time. But ignoring that, it is rumored that at least Black Panther will be in the Civil War movie. Let's hope so, and let's hope they actually integrate Ms. Marvel and some of the others, Doctor Strange, into the Civil War movie before they're introduced in their own movies. but it still poses a problem because they will have no background, no history in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I don't even know what they're going to do with the Fantastic Four. I'm actually going to tirade on my feelings on what I've seen from the theater trailer a little later in another episode. But seriously, Fantastic Four was extremely critical in the Civil War. And a lot of it had to do with Reed Richards' affiliation with Iron Man. In addition, we won't be seeing Hank Pym's affiliation with Iron Man. Hank Pym and Iron Man went all the way back to the founding of the Avengers. I'm sorry, maybe not the founding, but because I can't say that accurately without checking on it. But they were definitely part of the original Avengers franchise that would branch out from that. Okay, we don't get that. You see the level of depths that are starting to be stripped away the more you analyze the problems with the movie in contrast with what the comics offered. Okay? So, here's my hope on this. My hope is that they will go with some sort of interesting dynamic that will just make this whole thing work, and it can be its own special event. It can be its own special part of the Civil War legacy. Maybe not the complete, thorough shindig that everybody's hoping for, because Civil War truly was an epic arc. But what I'm hoping they'll do, and one of the things they can do to avoid some issues here, is actually have the pro-registration camp causing more heroes to come out in retaliation of this. Another thing they can do is play on the dynamic between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark from the Marvel cinema point of view, because in the comics they had a really deep history together, and that made some great moments in the comics. They don't have that history now, and we do see a little kind of build up in Ultron of where they may be going here, and I'm kind of hoping they play on that tension a little. But I'm also hoping, someone had suggested this elsewhere, and I'm hoping that it might be a possibility that Captain America is pro-registration and Iron Man is anti-registration, because it would fit beautifully within the Marvel characters' point of views, and it would also elaborate on the tension between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark that's been played out in the movies, because Rogers doesn't like Stark because he's so carefree, because he bends or breaks the rules to his advantage, and Steve Rogers is straight by the book. The problem with this, though, is in Winter Soldier we've seen Rogers' hesitancy concerning a world enforcement platform. So my guess is, unfortunately, that they are going to go with Rogers being anti-registration, which is going to make no fucking sense in the cinematic universe, and hopefully they're not going to totally ruin it. But the concerns I've expressed need addressed and really need dealt with if they're going to make an effective Civil War arc in the movies. So that's my thoughts on this. I want you guys to weigh in the comments section. Give what you feel are pros and cons. And until next video, I'll see you later. Thanks. Subscribe and like. Bye.